Right guys, Mark Crossfield here with Stephen Buzza. Hello Stephen.
Hello.
We have done the 3-wood challenge.
The ultimate.
We hit one ball
challenge.
with all these. We've hit all the kind of modern day good 3-woods. We've put them to the test using GC2 HMT, using real Titleist Pro V1X balls, the balls we both gamed. You X as well? I think you are.
I'm an X.
So we're both using the balls we use. Let's show you some data on all these 3-woods and what we felt about them. Not hitting them at once, we hit them individually. Let's get stuck in. Right Stephen, so we started with Ping G30. So Ping G30, we get turbulators on top, trying to help improve club head speed. I don't think it really does per se. You get a little bit of adjustability on the neck. We had it set at 14.5, which is what it came in. Low back CG. How does that one look to you? I mean, I love the look of that.
Yeah, I really like the look of it.
It's stealthy. I like the turbulators. They've grown on me, but it's Batman-esque, it's stealth-esque, it's black all over. It looks nice.
The turbulators, I remember when I saw them in print, you're like, I'm not sure, but you get used to them so quickly.
Totally agree.
Do you mean they're kind of pointing where the ball should be hit?
Exactly, that's what they kind of frame up the ball quite well. Full reviews on all these clubs, guys, individually on my channel as well. Check those out. This is the overview of all of them. So numbers for us two. Now, you were carrying this one 235 on average, topping out at 241, which is what you'd expect. I was carrying it down at 218, which was shorter than where I normally carry a 3-wood. My first 2 hits with it weren't great, topping out at 222. Now, I don't know if you remember the day we hit these and collected the data, we were hitting into a really strong wind. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
Now, the data won't be affected by the strong wind because the machine it doesn't take into account for the wind, but it doesn't understand how we're being blown about a little bit. Does that make sense? So I definitely felt like I was finding it hard to strike it on this day because we were hitting into, it was like ridiculously gale forcey winds, which is my excuse in place for those 2 bad hits.
Yes, if we need a little disclaimer. It's just excuse.
Yeah. But I mean, I really enjoyed this.
Just rolling along the bottom.
Absolutely. I really enjoy this club. I've gamed it and will game it again. Yeah, it's about a 225, 230 carry for me when I'm striking it properly. It's quite user friendly.
Yeah, like I've got the Answer version in my bag at the minute. I would certainly replace it with this.
Yeah.
Probably feels, or it sounds a bit more powerful, this one.
It's got that kind of brittle clip, isn't it, off it, which I do really like. So Ping G30, guys, that one for Steve, 235, me, 280, topping out at 222. Really liked it. It's a kind of all-encompassing club as well. Tour players use this, but amateurs could pick it up as well. It's a real kind of all-round player. Let's move on to the next one. Right, guys, Callaway Xr Stephen Xi yourself. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
It's black all over, again, like the Ping was. I like the little raised, not coloured in V-line. Looks really fancy.
I like the and like in the driver, it's got the bits to the side. And
it hasn't got it on the fairway.
You get used to it, but this one is
subtle.
Yeah,
I like it. It's got a slightly redesigned leading edge, which I like, which makes it hug the ground a little bit neater. It's fixed neck. Can't change the neck. We get it's the face hyper speed cut face. Yeah, so it's kind of more friendly across the face, doobie-doobie-doo. Like they all kind of have got versions of that. Slightly long.
Slightly longer.
I don't mind that because I'm happy with my 3-wood, but I do think your average male at 5'8", if they, that's going to feel really long at that height, isn't it, for someone, I think.
I assume they go in, it's just like
custom fit,
and
obviously.
Is this like driver replacement? Are they?
No, this is just your. This is your 3-wood. They're kings of distance. They've got to make it longer, aren't they? They're the kings of distance.
What were the distance?
Hail the kings of distance. So numbers. The numbers 245.
245.
So slightly longer than you got on the Ping.
Yeah.
But not. What were you on the Ping? You were 239, were you?
Yeah, 239.
But I mean, that's going to be strike based as much as anything. I was 229, topping out at 234. So, and I was much better striking on these 220, 234, 234. So, again, I was obviously not being blown around as much or struck. These ones pretty good. I like this club. I like the numbers it gives. I was spinning at 3.6. You're spinning at around 4.1. You get much more height than me, 4.3, because you've got that extra power to my 36. So this is what's interesting for us too. Our 3-woods can go the same distance because I'm going to run mine up to you like an annoying little person. Run, Stephen! Oh, here he comes again.
Sneaky wrong.
Absolutely. Where you're going to fly yours like big man way all the way. But good numbers. I love the look of it. I could easily play this club.
And this was like a slightly duller sound, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like,
not quite as boomy, but it's nice.
Is it carbon?
No, it's not.
It's not carbon.
It's not. I know what you mean.
That
Yeah,
sort of,
yeah.
I like it in a 3-wood. Looks great. It looks like you could hit some fairways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for lots of people, the main thing with it is really making sure, like with all these clubs, you get custom fit, because I would worry about the length for everybody. So you might need to be like a prince of distance if you just get it cut down a little bit. Let's move on to the next one. Right, moving on, Stephen. Mizuno Jpx 850. Brilliant blue on top, black face. It's shop appeal. It looks fantastic.
And this one's got a lot of adjustability.
Yeah, so what are the lofts going from? I think you're 13 up to 16, is it? Up to 17. Up to 17. So you get lots of adjustability in the neck on this one. You get this kind of wave pattern on the bottom. It's going to make it friendlier across the whole face. I need almost like a car just to hold that up tonight, because every club is trying to do that, because that's all they can do, because centre strikes are pretty much controlled. With the white shaft going into the blue head, looks fantastic. Yeah. It sits very square, like they all have so far, and it looks down by the ball. I like the black to the blue, just really frames the ball up really well. Little Mizuno running bird line on top.
And it's almost like a metallic, isn't it? And it's
it's a good looker, isn't it, Stephen?
It's a looker.
So you were 245 again. So all falling into the same distance, which is interesting. I was 227 again, falling into that same distance. 230 topping out. You topped out at 249, and dropped down to 240. So you had only dropping 9 yards on between hits, which is pretty good again across the face, like they're trying to do. Spinning 3.7, I was spinning at 3.4. So you spun this one a fraction less than the others. You were in the 4,000. But next to nothing in it. I'm launching mine at 13, you were launching this one down at 10, so you were launching this one a little bit lower. Good performing club, great looking club. Yeah,
this is one you could go in a pro shop and it could catch your eye.
It would, and the adjustability, I think, what allows it. So if you think about it as a fitter, I only need one head. Yeah. And I can sell you a number of different clubs. So
the world is lucky you've only got one head.
Yeah. But you see what I mean? As in, I think that's important for a fitter who is buying fitting equipment, investing. It gives them a much better option I mean, I always see the adjustability on these clubs when it comes to loft, really for the fitter's benefit as much as it is the amateurs.
And we're going to find the data is showing it, isn't it, that they tending to go the same distance. So if I'm trying to split between my driver and my 5-wood, so I know I've got a correct gapping, that's when this could come in really handy as well.
Absolutely, good stuff. So I'm loving the look at that. I like the feel of it, sits nice and neutral, similar numbers to the other ones as well. Let's move on. Right, Stephen, moving on, Titleist 915F. We're getting the channel that goes from heel to toe. We're getting a little weight port at the front. It's got short fit tall neck.
Yeah.
So you can move loft and lie to dial in their ball flight. I mean, they innovated that. I'm a big fan of short fit tall. They guys really brought that separating loft and lie to the market very well. Looks down by the ball. What do you think? Sits lovely and square.
Yeah, great.
Shiny black, little glitter in the sun today.
A little bit of glitter there.
A little bit of beautiful glittery head.
I think I've used DCIs for quite a while in my amateur career.
Okay.
I don't like them too.
You've got really offended with that. I don't care.
I'm probably not the best person to be doing it.
Like,
I don't like change.
It is. I mean, you've said that every time you pick that club up. You say that. If someone was not going to buy this club because I flipped around, then come on, they're the most fickle person on the planet.
It felt great, but no.
Yeah, I don't want it. Numbers then 244, so same numbers, even with it changed around the wrong way. I was 222, so again, pretty much the same distances. You were peaking height at 38, I was 35. You were 4,000 spin to my 3.7 again, very similar. Launching at 11 to my 13, which is where I launched most. I think this club appeals to many people. The Titleist brand appeals across the board because we see so much of it on tour. You know you're going to get good quality. You get great custom fit options in short fit tour. And anyone selling Titleist as a general rule, and I don't hold me to this because I don't sell equipment, I haven't done for years, But they tend to have a good array of, you know, Titleist seem to put good fitting carts into places.
Yes, custom fit, do you mean they know what they're doing?
Absolutely, and that's what I think for this club it sells, because it's going to give you that level of service that you want. You can dial in, and if you're going to a shop that's got it, they're going to give you an array of lofts and different heads and shafts if you want to think about the shafts or those kind of things as well. So they do that really well, and it's a good, honest looking freewood, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 in the Titleist 915. We'll come to the next one, but this is the bigger one in the F.
Yeah, and they've changed the names around.
They've switched it round a little bit, yeah. But I don't think the market quite knew which way they were round anyway, so I don't think that's going to
it's a bit
confuse.
because in the previous model, the bigger head gave you more workability, and it was actually less forgiving.
Okay, which is interesting.
I can see what they've done.
Yeah.
It makes more sense doing it this way.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I like the look of that one. I like the way it sits, nice and neutral. I love the classic Titleist branding and looking, and I really like the dialing in options to this. And more importantly, I like the options you will get when you go and buy this from a retailer, because they will give you that good fitting array. And as you can see, with the numbers being so similar, if not the same on all these freewoods at the moment, that's a massive sell for me, that I know I can go and get a really good fit on it because they've got all the options. Good stuff. Let's move on to the next one, Stephen. Right, Stephen, Titleist 915 FD, same channel, arc, reaction channel, I can't remember what they call it, but it's arc. It's got the short fit neck on it, like the other one. It's the black, it sits square, it looks smaller down by the ball.
Yeah, slightly. It still looks playable, though.
It's still got it round the wrong way, mate. Yeah, come here, come on. I know some people in Titleist. I'll ask them if they could just flip it.
I wonder if they'd make me one with the old logo.
With one over here or something.
Well, where I usually hit it.
So you get the black glittery, looks exactly like the F. It's exactly the same looking apart from its shape. You're 253, you boomy.
Yeah, it's
260 topping out. There's no reason for this one to go further than any of the others, and certainly not its F, apart from the spin being slightly different. And there it was, 2.9 spinning, lower, massively lower spinning for you, that one. I didn't see that. Look, 3.5 spinning, going at 2.23. So my spin is staying constant. So do you know what's making that spin come right down for you on that?
That could be contact.
Yeah, so where is it contacting on? Where were you getting? Yeah, you must have been on that, those 3 balls, you must have been getting them slightly higher on the face, which is pulling that spin down. Now, if Steve was fitting for these clubs, obviously on numbers at the moment, you might think, right, I want more distance out of a freewood, if that was your criteria. And it doesn't have to be that, because you've got to remember a freewood's got to hit a distance, because it's not your maxed out club. You might think, oh, I'm going to have this one, because it goes further than all the others. I personally think, and you let me know, that you might want to hit more and test the others to see if you can get equivalent strikes.
Oh no, definitely. And this one is more workable in theory. Do you mean that's kind of the selling point?
Because of the smallerness?
Yes.
Is that a real word? Smallerness?
Not really.
Well, I love making words. Come on.
So
bringing out dictionary.
So we've done it on distance. If I felt like I could maybe hit a few draws and fades with it, I mean that might be the difference, but especially between the 2 versions.
I agree. That's a great point, and I say this in a couple of my other videos, and I'm going to start saying it more because I think too many people are getting confused with spin numbers, and they're getting confused with distance all the time. And there's content out there that always, longest one. It's not about that. I want to know how this club performs, when I'm hitting out my boots and how far it's going. But I'm hitting that shot in around like 1% of the time in a year. So why do I want to test hitting out my boots which one goes the furthest? I want to know what it feels like in situation. So I'm going to hit this from the ground. So good lie, downhill lie, uphill lie. No, I know my numbers will drop back, but I want to know how I feel with that club and the others in those situations. If you're going to a test of these clubs, you're going to hit them and you're just trying to hit out of your boots, I mean, that's kind of pointless and wasting your time.
Especially with freewoods, isn't it?
And even drivers. I will play a driver, watch the videos, you do it, I'm just going to hit a softer cut this one, I'm going to poke this one, I am going to hit this one hard. How many people are getting fit and trying it in those situations within the false situation of the fitting, trying to do that? And I think that's a really good point you made there. Great looking club. It scares me a little bit, the size. I think the F...
Scares you?
Yeah.
Finally, something that I can keep obeying.
I think the F would be more friendlier for the mass market, and I think Titleist would even agree this would appeal to less of a market of players.
It's that classic shape.
It's that smaller shape which would appeal to someone like you. Good stuff and good numbers. Let's move on. Right, Stephen, TaylorMade R15 slidey weight, fade and draw, so you can move that side to side in theory to encourage a fade and a draw. It won't do that subject to your release patterns, which I've done videos on. A very adjustable neck.
Yeah, very.
White top with black face, sits square, looks gorgeous. Doesn't it? Don't you think it looks gorgeous?
It looks gorgeous.
Not a massive looking head, quite a nice little shape. Numbers, you're 253, good. 258 was your topping out number. I was 225 topping out, averaging at 220. I hit 2 again. Must have been, yeah, slightly higher spinning and lower on the face. You can see my spin actually went up on this club, and in theory this is a lower spinning freewood. CG is a little bit more low and forward than say other ones. My strike overrid that straight away. You're getting your topper end numbers, which is good. I'm getting my average to slightly below with it. I've hit this in other videos and got more out of it than that. I just like the look of it. I do, and I know it probably makes no difference in physical tests. I don't like this track hole gap in a fairway wood.
No.
Well, because the club's interacting with the ground more.
You're going to spend all night cleaning that.
Yeah, well, I would never clean it because I'm just lazy. But it's more just how is that interacting with grounds that aren't level. I just don't know if I would feel comfortable with that. I've not put that to test.
Possibly.
That's just my feeling. I know it's just me,
But
Steve.
but if you think when they
It's
had
just
like,
what I feel.
if you think like with the V steel, it was all about this centre bit. So
Yeah,
I would imagine they've tried to factor that in.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, it's me. It's got adjustability. It looks great. The numbers are fine. We weren't as low as spinning on this one as I've had it in other tests. But I do find this freewood slightly brutal for some, because of the low spin on it that it can get. Sometimes they don't get enough launch. So again, the thing you need to be looking at when you're getting fitted for any of these clubs, if you're not getting enough spin or as much spin as you might get with another one, then you will have to change the loft, which we've done in drivers with their loft app campaign and what have you. It doesn't mean you can't hit it, you just might need to fit it a little bit differently to other ones. Good looking, good feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you game it?
I could game this
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
yes.
And you quite like the white and black as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do. No, it's it very much looks like the R11.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like with the driver, they've put like that line in, which I quite like.
Yeah,
this one hasn't got it, so it's a nice classic looking club.
Yeah.
My numbers were very consistent with it.
Yeah, they
so
were.
I would be happy with this.
Excellent. R15 guys, make sure you're getting fit. Let's move on to the next fairway freewood. Right, Stephen, TaylorMade aero burner.
Aero burner.
It's got a wing.
I know. It's great, isn't it?
If you didn't have a wing, what do you reckon would happen to the world? It's got a wing.
It's nice. You just go there.
Anyone who plays a club without a wing, not going to win, are they? Not going to win. You get the slot a lot, fixed neck.
Did you mention the wing?
It's got a wing. Sorry. It's got a wing. I like the look of it. I like the bobbles and that line, the aerodynamic look of it. I like the way that line framed it up.
I didn't like it at first, but it then you noticed the wing, and I was like, yeah. No. But no.
And then I cue the love music.
I feel like you can line it up easily.
I do.
I like the look.
Yeah.
Should we leave it at that?
You like the wing. Numbers. This is interesting. This is the 15 degree TP aero burner. Comes in a regular version as well, and it sits a little bit close, which I don't like as much, but might be more friendly to the mats. We haven't got it in this test, but the numbers are very similar. It just sits a bit more close. Numbers on this are interesting, Stephen. You average 230, so you're lowest.
Yeah.
By a long way. I averaged 236, so I actually went up a bit.
Yes.
My spin is 2-1. That's ridiculously low for a freewood, but only launching at 10 degrees. It's not hard. The ball is, if I don't get that, I am just going nowhere. It's going to drop out the air. I obviously hit 3 decent shots, I think, which I did. You, Stephen. Now, look, I've got your strikes on this one, which are pretty centred.
Yep.
And then your spin just went mental. So you average 1-4 spin. That's lower than your driver. You had one at 2-7 boom-tastic 9.
Yes. Buy it on that.
But then you drop back to 196 and 214 on those strikes that aren't even that bad.
You'll show.
The strikes are there. I'm going to show the strikes are coming up. I mean, it's And then you just got the ball just falling out the air and doing horrible things. So you had moments of loveliness and then destruction.
There is no way.
I just don't know who's going to gain the 15 degree. But you've got to go. We've got another one which we're going to show in a second, the high launch version. This one I just, off a tee, great.
Yeah, well, I can, if you think about my delivery, and I like hitting driver, I'm getting in and up, it's not working at all.
Well,
I can't even consider using it. If you had the other swing where you come down
and you produce more
spinning is an issue. And you probably wouldn't want the TP version, you might want the other version.
But you're still going to have to get some launch. This thing launches quite low.
But this is one, like, just buying it without trying it would be...
Oh, you'd use it for about a month and you'd think for a few rounds that it's the best thing ever, and then you'd just start to hate it.
Yes.
Because you would get some balls that just fall out of the air. I mean, you had 2 spinning at 1.3.
Yeah. You'll get, and I expect...
And then your 279 was 1.6. That's lower than you get on...
I'm expecting some comments saying, I've just bought this driver, I couldn't hit drive,
This freewood.
I'm just confused with these numbers. But you'll get people saying, I've dropped my driver, I've put this in and it's transformed my game.
Yeah, no, because of the shorter length of the shaft, they might find they control it
instead of overspinning a driver, you get driver numbers with it.
Yeah, so interesting numbers. I don't. This club comes with a health warning in the 15.
In the 15.
So let's give TaylorMade some loving.
Potentially.
Because of the high launch version, which we'll look at now. But the 15 version TP, use it at your own risk. It's a brute. It's a brute. Right, guys, TaylorMade 3-wood high launch. So this is the 16.5 degree TP aero burner. It's got a wing.
It's got a wing.
Hello wing, I love you wing. It's got a wing on it.
This is your Valentine's present.
People get upset down there. I say about the wing, but it just makes me giggle. There's some people, I reckon, who are going, no, I swing fast because of the wing. What's he on about? Stop being rude about my wing. I'm not watching this anymore.
A lot of people do that. Because you're annoying.
So, aero burner, high launch with a wing. Again, I like the look of the aero burner. I like the look. The bobbles, the line, the white, the black. It sits square in the TP version. In the standard, it sits closed, which I mentioned in the other one, which I don't like as much. Numbers, Stephen. 244. Spinning at 3,000. Good numbers. Not your highest by any means, but this one certainly can be in play. You did hit 1.0 launching at 7.6 degrees, so that's a miss hit, basically. I'm going mine 227. Topping out at 230, and vet 222 to 240, only 8 yards difference in bottom to top, which I quite like. Spinning at 3.7, I've gamed this, I'm gaming it. I like the flight it gets, it's forward, it doesn't spin up. I can keep the spin low on it, but it's got enough launch to get up in the air so it doesn't just fall out.
And when the camera's off, I love the wing.
And I love the wing. I'm loving the high launch burner. I think this club is for a lot of people, and it's one that you should go and test. It's got the slot like the other one has, fixed neck. Try it, guys. It's an interesting club.
Like Jason Day is using this one.
Is he in high launch?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, interesting. He did ask me what I was using, actually. I just ignored him. I didn't text him back.
But I would be going like Dustin Johnson, aero burner driver.
Yeah, he's driver, but he's R15.
R15, yeah, and I would do the same. I would be going into the R15.
You wouldn't go for the wing?
I would see if they would build me a wing. How hard can a wing be to build?
Do one yourself.
Yeah.
So if you put enough Jpx down, let it dry over and over, it might build up a wing.
And it's nothing. This is giving me 3-wood numbers.
Yeah, and it is giving me 3-wood numbers, but what I like is I do get the odd one if I strike it in my optimum position that the spin drops off and I go like 245. I do get the odd one which I know I can max out. So I do feel I can hit a distance with it. I don't feel like I'm going to get the odd one that just goes out of control. But I do feel if I wanted to give it more, I tee it up slightly different from a different lie. I might know I get that higher hit and I'm going to get the long one. I like it to be in my game, the fact I can squeeze a bit.
It'd be nice, like into the wind, you know, when you sometimes feel like, well, I hit a 3 and it'll over spin. You feel like you can get that one going forward. Well,
we played with this. I used this one at Saunton, and it was breezy enough on the west. I had a couple of instances where it was the shot I had to play. It was the first tee I used it, and then the 17th second shot, and it was a lovely forward flight. Good stuff. There we go, guys. 3-wood mental.
3-wood mental.
Most interesting thing for me is how similar they all are.
Yeah, and that's not...
Maybe the only redefining ones are the 2 TaylorMade really low spinners, which I think is quite brave of them. But for all the others, the numbers, as I say in other videos, this isn't about which one goes the furthest. I think that's so misleading to think that way. It's about fitting them into your game, getting them fitted, and understanding what the different ones can and can't do with different spin models, how they might feel slightly different from the sounds they make to the shapes they look at.
And it's asking yourself, what do I want out of my 3-wood?
Correct. And fitting it into that game.
Yeah, and that's sometimes something that you go in blind. Whereas you need to think, and when you go in blind, and I'm not saying
we're easily sold to, aren't you?
Yeah, but it might not be that they're trying to mislead, because they'll be thinking, well,
they haven't got much to go on.
So this player will probably benefit from this, and then you take it on the course and go, well, I don't use it in that situation. Yeah, exactly. So
and it's
find out what you.
Totally, it's situation based, isn't it? Which is what I always keep trying to say to you guys. So for me, I know there are situations like you said there where I can get a 3-wood to spin up a bit too much. This one, and it won't every shot, but on some might just bring the spin back down a bit. So we're talking a small percentage gain for me there, but it's that situation that I'm buying it around.
Yes.
So totally agree with you there, Stephen. Good points. Interesting numbers. Post comments down below, guys. Which 3-wood out of all of them would you choose, and why? Have you been tested? Have you been fitted for them? It's so important you go and try them, get some numbers and fit them into your game. It's not just about which one goes the furthest, because I just think that's quite a mislead. I can make any of them go further than each other if I choose to hit it harder and jump as I hit and do all the rest of it. It's about gaming with
or miss hit some and then blame the wind.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys. Post comments down below as always. Speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.